just done some more theory this morning, and we've finished some quizzes and gone over what the homework from last night, and then done our full exam, which means we're signed off on all the theory stuff. We've got a banana shake, and we're diving tonight this afternoon. Dive's done. We just dived over there at Japanese Gardens. So for my first dive in open water, we went to a place called Japanese Gardens. Now the dive itself was quite underwhelming because there wasn't a lot of fish and lots of the coral were quite dead. And that's because a lot of people go diving there because there is a lot of dive training, and that is a great place to do a lot of your dive training because our maximum depth was 12 meters. And actually the depth we got up to was about, I think, 8.2 or something was our max depth, and that was going pretty much right to the bottom, so you can't go too far, so it's quite safe, and there's not a lot of things blocking you, so you don't have to worry about a lot. So it's a great place to start learning, but the actual dive wasn't, like, in terms of looking for stuff, but that's not the point. The point was to get out all the skills that we needed to do, and that's exactly what we did, and those went all fine. They were like, we practiced them and we were all good at them. The only thing was my mask. When I was down there, I was trying to practice my buoyancy, and I was getting right down to the bottom and trying to float there, but you may have noticed in the videos before this that I had my moustache, which has now been shaven off, because what would happen is I'd have the goggles on, but water gets into the goggles, and that happens naturally because you have to pop your ears using your nose, and there's going to be gaps in places, so that's natural and that's fine. But what would happen is lots of water was getting in my mask, so I was getting very good at practicing to empty it, and that was fine, kept calm, until at one point I'd been practicing. I was really good at it. I was great at emptying the water out, but at one point water just kept coming into it, and I'd flush it out and more water would just come in, and more and more and more, and so I started panicking a little. And I should mention that on all the dives I have been the person that has been the lowest on air, so we've had to come up because my BCD was the biggest one, so it took more air to inflate that anyway, and I'm a bigger person, but on this dive in particular I started to panic because just water, and I was right at the bottom and I didn't want to touch anything because you don't have gloves, so I didn't want to touch anything. So yes, I can come up and kick up, but I was panicking a little because just like no water, and my instructor was there because we were actually practicing the emptying it all. That was the drill we were practicing anyway, so but it was just keep filling, and he just went and touched my nose. When he touched my nose, I realised that he was touching my nose. Now the mask meant to cover your nose, so if he's touching my nose, the mask is not. So the mask had actually come up and was about here, so it wasn't properly on my face. So I practiced the drill of taking your mask off and putting it back on, which is one of the drills you had to do. So I did that drill anyway, just because I had to. Put it back on, and I could empty it straight away, and it was fine. But yeah, I went through my oxygen quite quickly then, just because I panicked a bit, which is understandable, but just keeping relaxed. It was done! And they got these snacks on board, it's really great. We're just diving over there, it's called Twins, because there's two different things. For my second open water dive, we moved around. There are some islands off of Koh Tao. We moved around to the other side of this beach that connects some of the islands, from Japanese Gardens to a place called Twins. And that was actually it was a lot nicer than Japanese Gardens, and there was a lot more things to see. It's still not a great deal, but yeah, some coral to swim around. And I'm sorry, there's not really a great story here. It just went off with a hitch. I did all the tasks I had to do, I think. My group did. The thing was, there were some people that were having buoyancy problems, so it was great because they were having to come down and having some problems. I think one had some problems with the ears, so I could just have a look around the fish, practice my buoyancy. It was quite fun. It was quite chilled out for me. I mean, there was the tasks we had to do, obviously, but apart from them, got it done. I think we were quite a fair way from the boat this. We had to swim a bit. Briefly, I've had a shower and we're heading back to the other side of the... We're heading off to the other side of the... This area is Surrey Beach, is the main kind of popular area. Let's see what's going on here. That's happening. Masterman for dinner, and we are back with Greg and Charlie. Some karaoke, but we wouldn't be able to do our song till like 1 AM. I've got to be up at 6 tomorrow for diving, so this guy just gave me a lift back, otherwise I would have had to walk because the taxis are just cars. They don't have bike taxis here for some reason, and they're charging like insulting prices. Like, you get high prices and you get, like, these are insulting. They are so high. I was shitting myself on that bike because it was good. But we're here, we're not dead.